Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome into my home with grace and gratitude. I welcome you into my home. Hi. I know the lighting's not the best in here, and I was gonna like put a bunch of candles and like there's one on the altar right now and like really light this place up, but I felt like sometimes enough is enough. And there's so much going on right now. In real time today is Sunday. Sunday. Love it. Today in real time is Sunday, November 3rd, 2 days away from the American election. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. I'm kind of freaking out with the lighting too because my hair is like ombre. I'm like losing my head. It's like my face is floating out there. I'm all cozy. I got my big skirt on and I've got my cozy. So get cozy. I have so much to talk to you about. I have so much to talk to you about. So get cozy, grab yourself something yummy to drink or to eat, and let's get to it because we have a lot to talk about. Today we are going to be working with the 4 agreements. And I guess I could try and play with the lighting a little bit better. Oh, hi, there. It's like, it is what it is. And I was surprised they didn't have me wear a hat because I just feel more comfortable with a hat. I like my crown chakra I'm totally protected, but it's just something. I've been wearing hats most of my life, and yeah, anyway. But now I understand why, because you wouldn't be able to see me at all. I'd be like this, and you just see my mouth, and then if that's the case, it's like, then I might as well just done this. But I felt like you guys kind of needed to see me, and I needed to see you kind of thing. Like, I wish I could just, like, pull you, like, into, like, just like, into my world. Well, you're into my world, but I wish I could just pull you in my house, and we have some tea, and have some treats. Oh, by the way, I have to show you. So anytime there's a holiday, Blessed Samhain, I know it's over, Day of the Dead, it's over in real time. It's done now. And how was yours? Tell me how it was. Feel free to comment below. But anytime there's kind of a high holy holiday or anything that's special, I will go and look for like a special cannabis. So I walked into this store by my house, which I love. There's this guy that works there. He's hilarious. I love him. I don't know his name. I have to find out his name. But long story short, I went in. I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew exactly what I wanted because I'm not somebody who likes the same thing all the time. In fact, Alder usually buys my cannabis. Like, he goes for me, like on his way home or whatever. He'll pick it up for me. And I always say just use your intuition, and it's always spot on. It's always exactly what I need when I need it. But this time I was like, no, I want that one I just had. I'm like, that Cinderella 99. I'm like, that was some good shit. It's legal where I live. And so I was like, yay. I'm like, I want to have that for Samhain. I'm like, it's super fun and uplifting and bubbly. So I go there and he's like, we're out. I'm like, well, of course you are, because it's fucking awesome. I'm like, that sucks. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh, and I'm looking around. He sees me with my pendulum. He knows me now, like, doesn't, totally fine with it. And he's like, I have something for you. And he literally like went like this. And let me see if I can get in there. Can you guys see it? I gotta play with the lighting a little bit. Party like a pagan. Party like a pagan. Come on. Party with the hippie dude. I love it. Party like a pagan. And I didn't realize until I was starting to work with it that it was that treated paper. Alder's like, don't smoke that. He goes, remember last time you did that? He goes, you were like off to the moon. He's like, you won't be happy. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. But it's really good. And I'm on a combination of this, but this is some good shit. So party like a pagan. I was like, how fucking perfect is my Samhain? Like, it just ended up being, honestly, from the beginning to the end, because I considered last night the end. So like, it was basically the night before. I always think of like the 30th is like Christmas Eve for me, for now, because I've been celebrating Samhain for so many years now. And of course it's Halloween and Day of the Dead and all that, but Samhain, it's the end of the harvest. It's, it's everything. If you don't know about Samhain, it's pronounced Samhain, but it's spelled, it looks like Sam Hain, Samhain. And anyway, it was really delightful. It started the night before, and then the day of was like really, Alder took me on this little adventure. He just recently found this new park by our house, and I was like, how have we come to this area for how many years and have never fucking seen this park? And he's like, well, look at where it is. And I realized it was like hidden in this neighborhood. I love swings. Like, I love swings more than I can explain. I love swings. And it had adult swings, kids swings. It had a faux tire swing. It wasn't a real tire, but it looked like a tire. It was kind of cute, but plastic. It seemed more dangerous to me, but whatever. It was fun, and we had so much fun. And everything there. I'm putting together a video, a compilation. I took a few videos while I was there and some pictures, and Alder and I are really good. We're the best we've ever been, and we're working things out. We're working things through. I've done so many videos. I've recorded so many videos over the last few months, but they're slowly having me put them out. I just released a new video on Lula's life called something about doing what you love. I think it's something like that. And it is a nice little check-in with spirit about, doing what makes you happy and what makes you joyful. So, yeah. Anyway, speaking of, I haven't curled my hair in a minute. You know when you don't curl your hair and then you curl your hair, you're like, I'm pretty. I'm pretty. My hair's pretty. I feel pretty. I feel good. That's what I mean. I just feel good. I feel pretty. I feel good. I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. But while I was feeling really good, I was also getting a lot of downloads from Spirit, and they wanted me to share some information with you. We just had the new moon in Scorpio a few days ago. My moon's in Scorpio, so it's always a very auspicious time for me. Like I said, in real time, it's November 3rd, and we had the time change where I live, so I've been dealing with that. That was really interesting. I actually feel I feel like we lost an hour instead of gaining an hour, if that makes any sense, because of just when I woke up and then I realized what time it would actually be. And then I was I feel like I can't catch up to the day. Did you ever feel that? And that first day, it goes really dark really quickly because, the way that the earth naturally works, the sun is either coming back around or fading away 2 minutes every day. So when you take 60 minutes and you just cram it in there and you're like, oh, let's just do an hour. Let's just make it, not a half an hour, right? They had to do it on the hour. So it's it totally kind of messes with people. And I believe personally, that's why they had the time change around the election, because a lot of times people, it kind of messes with them or whatever. So I realized that not all of you are American. I realize that. And we love you for being here, especially to our Southern Hemisphere family. Thank you so much for supporting us, because I really feel your love. And I love when I see there's certain countries that are part of our tribe more than others. And just so you guys know, we have New Zealand, Australia, Canada, England. Well, actually the UK. It just says the UK. And I'm missing one. It's an Asian country. I don't remember. But those are the ones that we get the most of, which is really interesting because we're kind of like pinpoints all over, right? We're little push pins. Right? So we're there to anchor the light, to keep it in. I mean, I've missed you guys. I've wanted to talk to you every day. I wanted to be like, you guys see what's going on? Or but it was no, Spirit's no, we have to, this is my time just like it's your time. And I'm going through a massive transition right now. I've been going through it. My house has been going through it. As you can see, this was once a kitchen area. And now I've got a dresser here acting as my counter. So the next thing is we'll be knocking that whole area out, the bathroom and all that. So that's going to be really exciting. We have a few more things we're going to do before the end of the year, and then other things we'll either keep working on next year if we're meant to keep this and keep going with it, or it will be when we go to buy it, people will be so grateful that we did so much of the tearing out, because the tearing out is a pain in the ass. I mean, it's kind of fun, but it's a lot of work, and then it's a lot of work getting all the icky stuff off and then rebuilding the good stuff. Kind of sounds like us, right? That's what's happening on the planet. So I was drawn to wear this t-shirt, and I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it until after, we live off grid, and so the area that we live in, and I'm pretty sure it's all the state of Washington, all of the showers at the campgrounds and all the facilities close on October 31st. And then they have like some places where you can still get potable water because so many people still camp like through the winter here. So, but they usually have like one designated spot, but the showers and the bathrooms the showers are completely shut until the spring. Which makes sense with the pipes and all that kind of stuff. And then the bathrooms, there's only like so many, you know what I mean? So everything kind of shifts and changes for us. And so I was like, I left it to the very last day, which I don't normally go out on Samhain, but it actually worked out perfectly. And I was like, he was taking me to the shower first. And I was like, I don't want to go to the shower first. I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to go there last. 1020, by the way. That's our angel number. Yay, I'm going to write that down. And long story short, we ended up doing that last, and this was one of the only clean t-shirts that either one of us had left. And I was like, I'm running out of clothes. We hadn't gone to the laundromat yet for our personal stuff. And I was like, what do you got? You know, and he's like showing me what he's got in his bag. And I'm like, can I borrow some clothes? So this is his t-shirt. But it's funny because I didn't even realize until today when I was getting dressed, I'm like, oh, that's still clean. I'm gonna wear that t-shirt. Then I was like, oh wait, I'm like, I don't want people to like see it and think like I'm voting Republican, you know what I mean? Like that, I'm like, still, I think it would probably confuse the fuck out of people if I did that. But what I realized was, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, but I worked in politics before. And I worked in politics off and on for a long time. And I had friends who stayed and worked in politics for a long time. So I know a lot more than the average person. I was watching this debate thing yesterday, and like these people were very good debaters. They were very good debaters. And if I didn't know anything about either candidate, I would probably like really go with them. But the thing that was really creepy was how much they were just literally verbatim saying the rhetoric that the ex-president trying to be president again is trying to, you know, put out there. False truths and misinformation. And I mean, it's fucking fascinating. And they have been force feeding us this information for so many years, so many a millennia. Our families, our ancestors have been slaves for so long that we forget that the Republican Party were the people that were fighting. They were the ones that were fighting. They were the anti-slavery. They were the ones that were fighting for the people. And over the years, they have twisted and turned it and made the Democrats a donkey, which is interesting because they think of donkey as like they're stupid, but donkeys are extremely fucking intelligent. And you do not want to fucking take your guard down when you're around a donkey. You know why? Because they'll kick the fucking shit out of you. And if you don't think that you will be hurt or you will have a bone broken, you will be sadly mistaken. So you know what's funny? We just shifted. And now we're like, no, we are the, you know why? And Spirit had me bring this out because let me tell you this. I was like, I'm like, give me something that is like, so they'll like connect the dots. So here's the spiritual meaning behind the elephant. Balance, harmony, faith, hope, growth, new beginnings, love, luck, prosperity, strength, protection, sympathy, and memory. Because they don't forget, do they? And I don't know if you can hear the frogs croaking around here. I have been saying this for years that I have felt, and listen, you know, I don't have to fucking lie because I have things on video for years. And even if I've like put them away, you know, because when I had it as Lula's Labyrinth, this channel, I put a lot of things away. But it wouldn't take me long. It wouldn't, Spirit would tell me exactly where it was and I'd put it out there. But there have been many things over the years that I have, you know, I'm a medium, right? I am an earth angel. I am here to help you, to connect you to the higher realms, which is just yourself. I'm not saying that we're all angels. I'm not saying we all come from the angel realm, but I do. And I am here to tell you that that's another reason why I keep myself away, you know, especially being such a powerful empath. You know, I'm watching, I'm observing. Just because I'm not out there doesn't mean I'm not paying attention, and it doesn't mean I'm not observing. But you guys know for a long time, Spirit has been giving me breadcrumbs here and there about what was going to happen. And I remember, I don't know when, but I know it was when I worked at Psychic Sister, and that was many moons ago, at least 6 or 7 years ago. And I remember that I had this download of 2026. I kept seeing 2026. And I remember it because I remember going, man, that's so fucking far away. Like, that's I'm like, spirit, like, no, like, we've got so much going on. Like, I can't imagine. But I know now that it all had to go down this way. I had a friend who literally quit being a medium after the last election with him and the Divine Feminine, Hillary Clinton, because I had so many people like in tears and like shocked. They're like, and they're like rarely wrong. And myself included at the time, I was rarely wrong, because I always felt like I translated the messages from Spirit well, not like, I'm never wrong, because it's not about me, it's about the translation. But I think we all had to hold that high vibration. We needed to hold that hope. We needed to have that hope. We needed to go there. Kind of like when Barack Obama first came out, where people were like, it was that same thing. We were like, no. We need a woman. We need to bring the balance back, and And so when it happened, one of my friends was like sick to her stomach. Like, I was on the phone with her, and all the years I knew her, like, I'd never heard her like that. Like, never heard her disconnect and disassociate. She was like, everything in my bones told me she was going to win. I'm like, I know, me too. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, it's a big test for all of us. I don't know. I'm like, maybe he's going to go into office and something's going to happen and he'll be impeached. I'm like, I don't know. Here we are, 8 years later. And a lot of you will remember that I kept seeing, like, it was weird. It was almost as if, not that I didn't care about Kamala, I just didn't feel like, I didn't feel connected to her. I didn't feel like, I don't know, just the whole thing. And in the beginning, I thought, I knew Biden had his problems and his bullshit, but I also felt a really strong, powerful connection of this grandpa energy, of this, like, I've seen the light, like, I know I have to change energy. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, well, if it's to vote for him again, or I mean, not him again, but if it's to vote for the current president or Biden, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go for the lesser of two evils. And I know that fucking sucks, but sometimes you do. And I realize now that it was all a divine plan. It was all a divine plan. And if you guys remember, I said, I'm like, all of a sudden it was like, I think the first year it was during the pandemic, and he was doing something, and then I caught her on something, and it was like maybe a year after he'd been the president or something. And I said, I don't know if I had a meditation or it was during one of these kind of sessions with you guys, but I just remember that I was like, I feel like he's gonna die. I'm like, I feel like Biden's gonna get sick, or I'm like, and I remember I told my husband first, and he's like, whoa, why? And I go, I don't know. I'm like, this just came out of nowhere. I go, but I feel like something is gonna happen where she's gonna like take over while he's the president. I go, I don't know how to explain it. I'm like, I don't know. If you guys remember that, please feel free to comment below. But I was like, and then when I watched like the last year unfold, I'm like, oh, he's slipping. I'm like, he is slipping. I'm like, they're gonna put her up. But they did it in such a smart way because they waited for the Republican Party to call in their vice president before they didn't know what was going to happen. Or maybe they did. I don't know. I mean, there's no way that they didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, the sad thing is the political world is like fucking high school. It's worse than high school. It's like grade school and high school, and I'm telling you that people just don't grow up. They grow old, but they don't always grow up. And somebody told me that once, and it's so fucking true. So this has been the shadows like plan from the beginning to get us to learn how to become a true family, to learn how to become a true community, and to learn how to become family, like to understand what that means, what Ohana means, what it means that it doesn't matter what you look like, who you're with, none of that matters. At the end of the day, we are one planet, we are one human race. We are not here to abuse and take advantage of animals and humans and plants and Gaia herself. That is not what that's not, So there is absolutely nothing for you to even concern yourself about, because she will win. And when she does, there's going to be an unraveling of some kind. But do not go to any fear-based things when they do. Hold your vibration high, hold your thoughts high, hold everything high. Because I'm telling you right now, love does win, and love is going to win now. And the shadows just playing their part, I was telling this dude when we were having this great conversation, I said, people have to remember that in every story there's a villain and there's a hero, and we're all playing this whole movie of life is like being played out right now. It's being played out right in front of our very eyes. I keep pulling I don't want to like rip my skirt, and I keep pulling. I can hear it. It's got a rip. Anyway, I turned it around so it wouldn't. I'm all bunched up. But you hear what I'm saying, right? Like, I mean, I'm getting worked up because I'm excited, and I want you to be excited too. I want you to be excited. Let's see if I can get more light in here. I'm like, I want to bring some more light into the subject. I want you to be excited about what's happening, because it is exciting. And, oh, look at, there's the elephants holding that up right there. I don't know if you guys can see the elephants. There. Where's my finger going? There, right there. You make lemonades out of lemons when they happen. I wanted to work on this place over the summer. The things that we wanted to do did not go in the way that we wanted them to go. And the more I went with the flow, the more I went in divine timing, the more I loved myself, the more I fell in love with myself, the more Alder fell in love with himself. We've been living apart and loving it. And right now, there's no way we could both live in here right now. It just would not be, it's not really feasible. But we've been working on other things, and we're like, building him like another little tiny home, for him to have a place for himself where he can go and be who he is. And it's interesting because we had this really great moment the other night. It was really magical. Samhain was he was going to leave too. It was so interesting, but like we turned the day around. We had a little bit of a fight at the beginning, but it was like old stuff. And then we turned it around, and it was so love-filled and love-based, and it was so natural and so real, and it was on a different plane. Even when I watched the video back and saw the way he looked at me, I like got emotional and cried, because the last video that we took together on summer solstice, or the pictures that we took together, he was like looking at me like he wanted to rip my face off. And I was like, he was in a different place, but he was still going through the dark night of the soul and the shadow, and so was I. Bubba's been going through it. Bubba's not herself. She's been doing things that she doesn't normally do. It's just been really, 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 really interesting. But we were sitting on the couch, and we were having this really great moment, and it was the tone of voice that I felt like I didn't really like from him, and that we've discussed before. And I said something like, I don't know how I said it, just something like, can you talk to me in a nicer tone, or something like that? And he's like, baby, I'm a man. It was just the way he said it. And he said it with love, and he said it in such a sweet way that I was like, yeah. Like, he's like, in this lifetime, I'm a divine masculine. You called me in to be that for you. I'm not always going to be soft and mushy. In some areas I will be. In other ways, he's like, this is the way I'm a man. And he's like, I felt like I was trying to change for you. And he's like, it wasn't working for me. So, and I realized that I need to not be so, take it so personally. Okay, so that's our nice segue into this reading, because these are the cards that Alder and I pulled on Samhain. And I don't know if we'll pull them for you guys, but I am going to I'm going to show you the fronts. Let's see. Can you see it? Okay. So this one says, taking things personally makes you prey for predators. They can hook your attention with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. Refuse to eat poison. That's what's happening on a global scale right now. I just put up a shorts with Hoist the Colors, and it's got like the beginning, it's got like a king angel on like the front. Looks like the King of Swords. Oh, man, it really gave me like that, I realized what Spirit was trying to say. Like, we need and want the divine masculine here. Of course we do. There's a lot of you here. Thank you, gentlemen, that are here, right? Like, whatever you go by. But I know we have when I look and see, it's kind of shifted. For a while, it was more men. And I was like, once I started to not show myself, now it's gone 60-40. It was 60-40 men. Now it's 60-40 in people who identify with as a woman, how they do the whatever. So not everybody does that. So there could be more, but more or less either way. But see, so the Republican Party has been destroying this country for a long fucking time. But they didn't start that way. They were infiltrated by poison. Because it was the people of the Republic that were like, hey, fuck you, man. Our forefathers came here so that we could be free. We left your country, your country, your country, and we all came here and founded our own country. Now, I'm not saying it's okay what they do with the Native Americans, but not all of them did do that either. A lot of them came here and did make peace with the Native Americans. We're like, hey, can we live here? We were kind of like thrown away from our country, and, we need somewhere to live. Can we live here? There was peace and harmony in some places, and the lines didn't exist back then. So it wasn't Canada and Mexico. It was one big motherfucking piece of land. And you were either from the north part of that land, the middle part of the land, or the south part of that land. The man came in and said, I'm going to put a fucking line here. I'm going to put a border here. You can't come in. And that's what's happening with all of us for a long time. And I understand what people are saying, But we help those who help themselves. And that's what the Native Americans saw that did help some people, right? I'm not saying it's okay, but, my mom said this once and it was so cold and callous, but she was right. She's like, this has been happening for thousands of years. The people will go, she's like, the Vikings killed they were like the best sailors. Baba's here. She says hello. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say it in such a, hi, Baba, teacher. She's really going through some dark, heavy stuff right now. And I'm not eating her poison. As much as I love her, I'm not going to let her treat me or talk to me the way she does. Anyway, but she's going through something. I think she may have dementia. But when I talk about it, she gets mad. So, Baba, do you need help getting down? Do you need help getting down? I think she's hurting. I think she's just having issues. Send some good, loving, healing energy to Baba, please. Okay, so don't take anything personally. Even now with all the shit that's happening, even if your family, like whatever, God forbid he won, we have to remember where things were sourced and how things get twisted into something else. I am a donkey, but I'm also an elephant. I'm a people for the Republic, but I'm also for democracy. So if anything, it's like we just, it's almost as if we've split again, like the Hatfields and the McCoys, or the North and the South. And you know what I mean? It's like, well, it's like most people now are like, we don't want slavery. We don't want, we don't want people or things or places abolished just because you think so or you say so. Killing us with our foods and our lotions and then like making us pay to fucking get better. It's fucking sick. They've been our slaves. They've been, you know what I mean? Like the slave masters, that's the thing, is they're smart, right? So they take the people. And let me tell you something, that's why most of these people don't write their fucking speeches even. They're like, oh, what can we do? Like the first attempt on the ex-president, I will tell you with everything I am, I would be shocked to my fucking core if he didn't have something to do with that. He'd be dead. If that fucking person was up there and a marksman, he'd be fucking dead. And if he had a nick, he'd be missing part of his ear. Does nobody notice that he isn't missing any part of his head or his fucking ear? He probably did a blood pack. I mean, it's just been smoke and mirrors for so long, and there's so much magic on Earth, and so people have learned to use magic for good and magic for evil. You think it's a fucking coincidence that Wicked, the movie, is coming out this year? Come on, that they're making the magic movie with Sandra and Nicole and Diane Wiest and Stockard Channing. They're making another one, Practical Magic, because it's back. The magic is here. They've just been pushing us down for a really long time. In a lot of ways. How many of you had your head pushed down to give somebody a blowjob? where you're like, don't fucking push my face into your fucking dick, man. Like, if I want to do that, that is something, a gift that I want to do because I want to and I like it. Not because somebody shoves my fucking head down. That's what I'm talking about. The repression, the rape. Women do it too. You know? I know I've done it. But I'm saying, like, but there's a difference. There's a complete difference of a rape mentality and a, oh my gosh, I'm in an excitement moment, you know? There's this, it's got to stop. The poison is done. We're done taking the poison. We're done giving the poison. This isn't just an American thing. This is a universe thing. This is not just planet Earth. It's seriously like a universe thing. I can feel it. Alder, you know, Alder makes his own version, his own plant medicine of like, it's a version of like DMT, ayahuasca. It's all legal though, everything. He's just clever and he found a way to do it. And he, the last several ones he had done were so intense that he's like, I don't think I'm gonna do it for a long time. And I was like, well, you know, whatever. Oh, sorry, I don't normally do that, but I am waiting for a message from Alder and our landlord. Okay, it's not them. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. You guys know I don't normally do that, but isn't that funny? Whenever something dings, that's for us to like really think about, right? So I'm going to put it on. I'll just keep it out here. I'll just turn it off and I'll keep it out here. Okay. And they don't know. I normally keep my phone in airplane mode when I work, but Alder is coming here and our landlord is coming by today to pick up rent. And so I don't know. They're both working and I don't want them to feel, you know, and our landlord's so sweet. Like, talk about the difference. You guys know, if you've been with me a long time, we haven't had the most kind and respectful landlords in the past. And so even though we are very, very respectful, but this one, oh, he's just so wonderful. And he wouldn't come here because he knows that. That was like a big thing when we started. And since we've been here, he will never, ever come over here. He just never, ever comes over here unless, like, I'm like, it's okay, you know? At one time, he was like, well, I was there. And I was like, why didn't you let me know? And he's like, I messaged you. And I was like, oh, I didn't have my phone on. And I felt so bad. And I was like, oh, you could have come over. He's like, no, I don't want to bother you. He's like, it's okay. He's like, I'll be back in a few days. Because he lives like an hour away. But he's got many properties all over the peninsula where we live. But anyway, I digress. So I don't know where we were. And that's okay. Everything always comes back around. Drink some water. Interesting that we've got this sparrow bird. Kind of like, I think it's a sparrow. We've got a deer. On Samhain, we saw a big fucking buck. Like a big one. I have a video of it. Big, like as big as this with big furry antlers like that. And he was sitting and this magical house on their lawn that was just a few blocks from this park that he took me to. It was so magical. Sorry, I live by an airport. I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, that is a gift. That bell, they want me to mention that bell is a gift. Ever since we started the remodel, I was like, well, we're going to need this or we're going to need that. And I was like, you know, and then as we were like shifting and changing things, I'm like, oh, this would be kind of cool. Or maybe we should get this, or maybe we should do that. And then I was like, oh, we're really going to need this. And then I was like, well, how can we do that though? How can I make that work? And all these things just started popping up. And that's what that is. That's from somebody who is from an area that we really love, actually. And I was like, oh, we can go take an adventure and go out there. But they're giving us free stuff for the remodel. We've been like, I'll just be sitting here and Spirit will be like, go on Craigslist free right now. And they'll tell me which area to look in, where to go. And it's like, bam, right there. It's either been just posted 20 minutes or an hour or a few hours. And they're like, oh, you're the second in line or you're the third in line. But if they don't show up, I'll let you know. And then they're like, oh, you got lucky. They didn't show up or they don't want it. It's not the right thing. Or I'm like, cool, you know, so it's been really, really magical. I mean, we put some money out, right, obviously. But it's funny. The things that like, it seems like the things that we put the money out are the things that you would think would be the free stuff, but the people that we're giving the money to, this is where the magic of spirit works, and not being attached to things and going with the flow and going in divine timing, because like those people, I could tell they need that money. That's why they're selling it, because they actually need that money. So I'm like grateful that we can help them. So it's been really cool like that. So here we are in this very interesting place, and not taking things personally. That's one of the 4 agreements. And not eating and not taking the poison, because it's the poison that is infusing the shadow of others. I mean, think about it. The reason why Kamala will win is because people are done. Humanity is done. They're like, I don't want to work 30 fucking jobs anymore. I don't want to. Look at DoDash. Like, she's like totally fucking taking over. I love her. She's amazing. She came into my orbit, and now I'm just like, Spirits has me send little things to her. Cause I'm one of her cheerleaders right now. I wouldn't say I'm her biggest cheerleader, because she has a lot of cheerleaders right now. I kind of feel like I want to like lean back and hang out with you guys. It's because I'm not super comfortable. I normally have something against my back, and I've been having back issues because we've been doing so many things with like manual labor and like building decks and like doing like all these like cool things, but it's just been a lot. But DoDash is somebody who has been trying on YouTube for a long time, and then finally she just was so tired of doing what she was doing that she just put out a video that was like, I'm fucking tired. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. And all of a sudden, bam, she just like blew up. And she's making so much on YouTube, and people are realizing like we don't have to be a slave to the man anymore, to this very, very patriarchal divine masculine energy that doesn't serve anybody. I'm trying to go, is it this way? I'm just trying to give you guys more light. There. That's better. You can see me. There I am. Hello. It's weird to see myself again, because I'm not really sure like how I feel, like how I look, I've been going through this metamorphosis. Do I want to grow my natural hair back? I don't know if you can see it, but my hair has been doing cool shit. I've got little, instead of gray, I have like silver tinsel and like gold and red coming in. It's really neat. So I'm kind of curious to see where it goes, but I think I'm going to put in more highlights, because I do like a little halo up here, and I do miss my little Goldilocks. I digress. I am what I am. But I'm seeing it all out in front of me. Like, I'm seeing the divine masculine, divine feminine, and like what's happening, and how she will win, because it's just time. It's just time for things to come back into balance, because we know everybody with a logical mind, and most people who are on higher levels of consciousness, can see through the bullshit, the rhetoric, the lies. Like, we see through it. Like, we don't, they're trying to be like, look at us, we're the elite group. They're fake, they're phony, because they've been planting the seeds to them that we're the enemy for years. The gay people are the enemy. The witches are the enemy. Like, we're the enemy. We're different. We're the enemy. And it's like, no, we're all supposed to be fucking different. They're trying to make, they're the enemy. That's why they took on the form of the Republican, and that they're not wise. If they were wise, they would be doing things to take care of Gaia, and not, I mean, how can you not see that she is an organism? She is a living organism. You can just look at the changing of the season to see that Gaia is a fucking organism. So it's so arrogant of a rich man who's been doing what they've wanted for centuries to just say, you know what, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Because they're not coming from our connection of source energy, of our creator, divine feminine masculine energy. It's a balance of both. We need both. So the balance has just been off for so long, and Gaia herself is a feminine energy. She is the earth mother. We all come from her. Everything we eat, everything, when you shit, it turns into fucking mulch. You know what I mean? Like, we compost it. It's like, we don't need this. I remember seeing something once. It was a movie, and of course it was a movie, but it was a very foreshadowing, or whatever they say. It was in the 1800s, and there was this woman who was like so against the railroad. I want to say it was based on a true story, and I can't remember her name, but she was somebody I think she immigrated from like either somewhere in the UK, and she was kind of thrown out by her family, and she ended up coming west. and started building her own life, and she had her own saloon and like her own thing. And long story short, when the railroad wanted to come, she was like, no, that'll be the end of it. She's like, that'll be the end of us. And they're like, why? And they're like, because then with the railroad, will, you know, and they said that with the railroad, with the phone, they started to see like what was happening. And they're like, everything, will never be the same again. This is the beginning of the end. And they were right in a way. However, now we realize, like, I wouldn't be able to communicate with you like this, right, through human form, right? Because even though I can talk to you mentally, telepathically, we can work together. Even though that could happen, it's not happening right now. So because of that, we need these kind of connections. And everything that's ever been created, whether it's for shadow or if it's for light, it always has like a positive and a negative, right? Everything has a positive and a negative, because it's not good or bad or evil, you know, or good. It is light and dark, but in a different way, you know. So right now we're just like basically balancing, bringing the balance back in, trying to work with it. I'm like, do I need like layers? Because my hair is making me crazy. That's why I wear hats. I think I need a hat. You know, I'm serious. You know, sometimes you're just like, it just makes you feel more comfortable when you're more like, yeah, that makes me feel more comfortable. I don't know how to explain it, because I feel like all I could see is my top of my head. Plus we're getting ready to do some real reading. But yeah, so, you know, they wanted me to share this stuff with you guys because it's just a long time coming. I mean, look at my calendar. I'm not playing. I know what's up. I know what's up. I mean, there's people coming out of the woodwork. Harrison Ford, he even said, I don't even believe in everything like that she believes in. He's like, but I'll tell you what, he's like, I don't want some fucking Nazi dictatorship, is basically what he said. I'm paraphrasing. I mean, I didn't, you know, watch the whole thing, but I just saw some of the highlights, and that's what a lot of people are saying, that they're like, you know, this is way too reminiscent. Baba, do you need help? Do you want me to help you get down? It's like she comes like halfway down from her perch, and then it's like she doesn't want to jump down, and I'm like, let me help you, but she's having a hard time because she's very independent. She doesn't like to be touched or picked up. Earlier she let me do it, but she was like rah, rah, all the way down. You know, anyway, but yeah, people are just seeing there's just too many similarities to the Third Reich. There's too many similarities to World War II and World War One, because World War II was called World War II for a reason. Because World War One, Hitler started his shit in World War One. A lot of people don't even realize that. You know, there was a lot of that stuff was happening. He was the Trump of the time that was put in front of people who had no mercy. We don't, you know, I mean, all of us are at risk, because if they don't like you, they'll fucking kill you. They take our reproductive rights away. Yeah, they want us to keep making babies. They say they don't want you on welfare, but they fucking want you on welfare, right? They want us to make babies, right? I mean, I remember when I was struggling to get off food stamps. I was struggling so hard to get off food stamps. And it wasn't until we got to a certain point where I said to my partner, I was like, you know what? We need to get off food assistance. And he's like, why? And I go, because it's time. We needed it at the time. That's what it was there for. Spirit wanted us to do that so that we can focus, you know, and work on our businesses. We were doing our best to, you know, get away from the man, so to speak. We put in that time over the years. We deserved that money. We deserved that assistance, right? Like, we paid into the system. So I had no shame around it. But after several years, I was like, you know, I feel like now it's about, now it's shifted, and it's about consciousness and a prosperity consciousness and an abundance consciousness. I don't want to tell the universe that we can't afford it anymore, because when we tell them that, then we won't be able to. So when we started to, once we got off of that, it was a big risk for us. Like the last few years, we've taken several risks. I didn't want to live in here. You know, it's funny, when I think back in the very, 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 very beginning, when we were offered this as a work trade. I didn't want it. I didn't want it. I just lived, several years in a tiny home. Even though this was almost 10 feet bigger, Anna had a separate bedroom. I was like, no, I'm like, I need to go back into a house. Like, I'm like, I can't. Like, I can't. And I kept saying, I can't. Well, Spirit showed me that I could. And then we lived in that cabin. We put all that time and energy into that cabin. We lived there all of 4 months and moved right back into here. But the irony was, we needed to go through all that. Both of us, for several reasons, we had to go through all that, and it wasn't easy, and it wasn't fun, and that one was another one. I remember I dreamed it, or I don't remember if I dreamed it or it was a meditation, because sometimes my meditations and my dreams, I'm like lost in a state and I'm not sure where I am as a medium. It's very interesting. So I just remember, like, I said to him, I'm like, we're going to end up getting a cabin. And I said, it's going to be on this guy's property, but it's not going to be on his property. I go, I feel like it's like, I don't know, maybe he's got like a lot of acres and it's like 20 acres away or something. I'm like, I can't explain it. And everything that happened with that was exactly that. It was his property. It was an investment property, the cabin. We were on a rent to own thing. We were working with him and fixing it up and doing all that stuff. We were living on that land. It's like everything that I had the visions of did happen. Everything. He lived right down the road. He wasn't on the property, but he was literally like, you jump in your car and like, you're like 5 minutes. Like it was so close. It was funny because we were on one side of the reservation and he was on the other side of the reservation, which is his family, Alder's family's tribe. So interesting. And we were more on his tribe's, like his family's tribe side and like he wasn't, which is like looking back on so many things. I'm like, man, I'm like, if we had looked at things differently, but again, lessons, learning, growing, keeping evolving, just changing. It's all part of it. And now we have this and we've been like gutting it for, the last 6 months here and there, doing these little projects and building like a space outside, working with, we've got the Eurovan out there. You can kind of see it. I just realized you can see it. And that's going to be Alder's like little tiny home for the winter. We've been trying to sell that forever. The one day we were going to sell it, it went down the hill. Alder had just fixed the brakes, bled the brakes. He's been a mechanic for like 20 years and he knows how to bleed brakes. He did it the way he's always done it. And the van lost control, went down the hill, went off the cliff, smashed and cracked the windshield. Took it like $1,000 down from what happened to that. But I said, I'm like, I feel like sometimes I felt like we were meant to sell it. Sometimes I felt like we both felt like we were meant to sell it. We put up for sale or whatever. Then we felt like we were supposed to keep it and it was going back and forth. And, and recently I said to him, I go, I think part of our fights are because I'll tell him something or I'll say I get a feeling about this. And then if it's not that, he gets frustrated. And I'm like, I'm not a fucking Zoltar machine. I've said this forever. Like, I'm not supposed to. And even Zoltar, right? Like, there's a Zoltar machine at my laundromat. I love it. You probably saw that. I have another video I'm going to post, another shorts where I'll tell you guys the first day that I found it. But I mean, it's like, I'm not always right. It's not an exact science. I'm not meant to be here like a robot angel and be like, I give you precise information. No, it's like I give you the information at my level of consciousness where I'm at and you take it for whatever you need when you need it. And if it rolls and works with you, it does. I've had people who I've subscribed to, stop subscribing to. Years later, they come into my orbit. I subscribe again. Sometimes I stay. Sometimes I leave again. It just, it's like, it's always like where we're at. We're all at different places. I've watched some of the readers that I love go like hardcore Christian and they're like God and like doing these prayers during their readings. And I'm like, what just happened? I'm like, no offense, but I'm like, prayer is beautiful, but it's also very important. And I don't want somebody like this praise Jesus energy on me. I don't need that. Like I grew up with that and I'm like, I love Jesus and he's amazing. And I say he because I, feel like they've put him as a divine masculine, but he was also very, very feminine, right? He's the apparition of love, just like Buddha. And I can go through every other prophet. There's so many prophets who have been here. John Lennon, and they may not have started perfect or they weren't perfect. There's no such thing because they were human here. People are like, oh, do you know that I remember when I was preaching John Lennon to, I had this one friend of mine. She was also a fellow light worker, super fucking gifted, incredibly intelligent. But I like couldn't handle certain things they would say because they'd be like, I'd say one thing and they're like, so-and-so blah, 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 or, blah, blah, you shouldn't follow them because and I'm like, Well, okay. Well, that was their human, and that's what they did. But I'm just talking about the example of what they said or the things that they did. I'm like, we're not perfect. Yeah, John Lennon cheated on his wife and, left his wife and did these horrible things and whatever. And it's like, but that's why he also ended up with Yoko, right? Because he was like, here was somebody who was like pushing him outside of his comfort zone and pushing him into the fucking prophet he was born to be. He wasn't born to just be a Beatle, right? Like to be a legend and music. He was born to be a prophet. He did both. I do both as well. I do music and I do this work and I'm a prophet. But it's like we all have a purpose and we all have a place. Every single one of us. So my phone beeped again. I'm going to see if it was... Okay, so it's Alder. He's on his way home. Hold on. Okay. So he's on his way here. I'm heating some food up. Just gave Baba some treats. All is well. So there's 4 agreements. Don't take anything personally. Always do your best. And do they have them on the back here? Here we go. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions and always do your best. So the next one was always do your best. Surrender and let go of the past. Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully alive in the moment. Letting go of the past means that you can enjoy the dream that is happening right now. And I thought it was really cute because Alder and we each chose a female card and a masculine card, and then there was 2 here, so I thought that was like kind of cute when that happened. So this one says, your own opinions and point of view reflect your own agreements and are personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. So don't take anything personally. Your truth is personal to you. Yes, I cannot tell you how many times, what does this one say on the front? Surrender and let go of the past. Yeah. Oh, my nose is itching. I cannot tell you how many times people have said to me, family, friends, whomever, that's not what happened. I'm like, that is what happened. And they're like, that's not what happened. I'm like, that is what happened. And they're like, are you crazy? And that was my thing a lot, like from my family and friends. Are you crazy? My nose is itching. Are you crazy? I used to get that a lot. Are you crazy? That's not what happened. Because I was having experiences with people as an empathic, telepathic medium. So I was having my experience myself. I was seeing things through, my third eye and feeling like their energy and my energy and hearing their thoughts. So a lot of times I'm like, they don't remember certain things because they don't remember certain things because they're not getting the full picture like I would. And it'd be really frustrating. So I've learned to, my truth is personal. So your truth is, if someone tells you that's not true, be like, that's my truth. That's my truth. And maybe it's not true. But if that's your truth, that's your truth. So those are the ones that we pulled. But I'm curious to see what, if there's any more for, okay, Spirit, since we're so close to the new moon in Scorpio and so close to this huge election, because let's be honest, it's going to affect the entire planet one way or the other. It's not just like, America is a big fucking place and she does influence a lot of countries and places. I'm trying to make sure I get this as most precise as possible. Okay, Spirit, do we have any messages of any kind? Not just for this week. We could do it week by week. Okay, so let's do it for the first week in November. Do we have any messages for the collective? Oh, okay, so this one feels, but I want to see if there's any more because I felt like there was more than one. Okay, so this is for the first week, which is really cool and interesting because that's like how they came out. Right away, that makes me so excited. Because you know what happened? All this time that he's been trying to divide us, he actually pushed us together. Hold on. Let me make sure that there's no... Okay. Sorry, I never do this. But they're what they tried to do backfired. Now we're more united than ever, because almost everybody has a gay family member, a gay friend, a black friend, you know what I mean? Like, I can go on and on and on, right? And I mean no disrespect by saying that, okay? So African American, whatever feels more comfortable to you. I grew up in the south side of Chicago. I heard black my whole life. I was saying African American for years, and some of my friends were like, dude, you can say black, like, that's okay, like, I don't take offense to that. I'm like, okay. But, you know, I was trying to be respectful. So it's different, because we're all different colors under the rainbow, mentally, physically, emotionally, inside, outside. Like, we have a lot going on, but we're realizing we need to have sympathy for each other. So this says, speak openly and honest, don't make assumptions. Speak openly and honest, don't make assumptions. And this says, when you speak openly and honest, you won't have to make assumptions. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate clearly and cleanly and achieve impeccability with your word. So yeah, if you speak with a loving heart and you speak honestly, that's what people want right now. The people that are like siding with the shadow and the dark, it's because they've been lied to for so long, and some people cannot handle change. They don't like change. It makes them very uncomfortable. Somebody posted something on, I had posted a shorts on Lula's life, and it was about this very beautiful LGBTQ community member. I don't know what they identify with, so I don't want to say, speak for them, but they were talking about how even now in like 2024 that they can't openly like just wear what they want, say what they want, be with who they want. They're like, they still get people on a daily basis that will fuck with them, say shit. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, that's so, it's like so sad to me, and it's disheartening, and it's just like, you know. So somebody posted a comment and it said, I don't care what you do, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but I think I speak for he said something like, I think I speak for I think I speak for all straight people saying, I don't give a shit. Just shut the fuck up and do your thing. I don't want to know about it, or I don't care, or whatever. And I don't remember what I said, but I was like, doth to protest too much. I'm like, why does it really bother you? I'm like, why? Like, so you saw my video, something made you like comment on my video that you don't care what people do, but you don't want it in your face. Well, that's easy for you to say. As a straight person, you've never had to have that fear of kissing someone you love and being murdered for it. You know? There's this famous couple on I don't know if they're on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, but she is African American and he is white. And they met, I think, in the 60s or the 70s and got married and whatever. And they are still going strong. You know, they grew old together. And talk about going through a time where it's like, you know, so even though you're straight, doesn't mean that you don't have challenges of people's bigotry and their judgment. And we're all fucking sick of it. We're like, that's not what America's for. That's not humanity. Like, we're not here to judge each other. You don't get to play fucking God. You know, this ex-president, this demagogue, it's like he doesn't get to do that. And we're about to show him. And even no matter what they do in whatever, it will work itself out. Trust me. Because we are divinely protected. The other day, I took a picture. I don't know if they're going to have me post it or not, but I took a picture. I was laying in bed and the clouds like looked so interesting to me, and I just had to take a picture of them. When I looked at the picture back, I swear to God, I could see like spaceships in the clouds. And I'm like, dude, we are so divinely protected right now. Like, things are good. So just stay in that high vibration, because I promise you, we're not going back. We're not going back. So speak openly and honestly. No fucking fear. You hear me? No fear. I don't even like to use that word. I say concern. No concern. No concern. Don't worry. Be happy. Yeah. See how it changes the whole fucking energy? Because this is what people want. They want to go to rallies where we're like, we're going to change the world. Yeah. We're going to save the planet. Yeah. That's what people want. People aren't like, you stay in your floating land of garbage. Who the fuck says that? Like, it's just like, he's gotten away with with it. People have gotten away with it. And the reason why he had to win back then was because people had to see how ugly humanity had become. People had to see how blind everyone had to become. People had to be like, take those fucking blinders off, man. Love is all there is. No one wants to be controlled. No one wants to, you know what I mean? Okay, maybe you got a little kink and you like to have somebody give you a little whip here and there. But even then, what does that stem from? I'm not judging it. But what does it stem from? Look at this. 2 angels. Come on. Oh, good. 2 angels. It says, when you believe something, you assume you are right. You may even destroy relationships in order to defend your position. Let go of the need to defend your position. Let go of the need to defend your position. Be impeccable with your word. So we've got all of them. Don't take things personally. Always do your best. Don't make assumptions and be impeccable with your word. There's a reason why. And the last one with the rainbows. Someday I will have a fancy schmancy system, I promise. And also, I'm not sure, like, I've been thinking about, like, how I want to move things or, like, you know, when we do the next segment. So, be impeccable with your word. Enjoy heaven on earth. Exactly. They're like, enjoy heaven on earth. You guys, we got this. We got this. We got this. Impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, success, and abundance. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word. See, now he's realizing, if you're not impeccable with your word and you lie and you spread lies and all this bullshit, eventually it's going to catch up with you. Because there's going to be more people who are like, you can have 10,000 fucking people who see the same thing and they may all tell you a different story, but the majority will probably be at least 60-40, right? That you saw, you know, something happen and you can say, you guys, you know, we all saw it. However, Jesus saw things before anybody else saw it, and look what he did. And he built an army. Hey man, I'm not down on Christians. If you're a true Christian, then you are going for Buddha. There's a lot of stories that say that Jesus studied with Buddha, you know, and Buddha studied with whomever, and you know what I mean? But it's all about love. It's all about love. Why do you think we keep finding different artifacts and things that happened? Did they happen in another dimension? Did they happen in another time? You know, why are they finding things that are 17,000 years old that were made by lasers? But yet we were told, like, you are a caveman. Oh, we built with this. This is all we have. It's like the universe is a vast fucking big ass fucking place. We're a fraction, a pebble of sand. Why do we see the stars? What's up there? It's heaven. This is heaven. Earth is, it's a training school. So they've turned it into like this slave planet. They've turned it, and now we're like, no way, bitches. We going back to the heaven on earth. We're going back to the heaven on earth, baby. So speak openly and honestly. Surrender and let go of the past. Refuse to eat emotional poison. Your truth is personal to you, and enjoy heaven on earth. And I always like to go, let me see. I always like to go to the bottom of the pile, and it says, whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their belief system. So whatever they think about you is not about you, it's about them. So don't take anything personally. Ignore the opinion of others. Yeah, love yourself, man. I'm trying to do this to give you so you can see it. Love yourself. That's where it starts, is self-love. Any more? Any more, Spirit? I am going to leave this right here because the top line says you're never responsible for the action of others, but you are responsible for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. You may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Don't take anything personally. Love and respect yourself. And since I felt that and ended on an angel, I'm going to leave it there. And if there's any other ones, I will put pictures of these in the community section for those of you who would like to put it, like, maybe you want to put it as your screenshot. Maybe you need something, you know, kind of sweet right now. Alder took me to this magical place, this magical park. And I put it, I don't know if you can see it, but I put it as my screensaver. Look at that, because it doesn't even look real. It doesn't even look real because it was so magical. Look at that tree. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see my phone. It was so magical. There's so much magic. And yeah, I feel good. And this month is going to be really magical too. So we also have the 11/11 portal, which is coming up. That's a week from tomorrow. And we've got the full moon in Taurus, which is good because it's going to help us with some grounding energy with the Scorpio. But Scorpio energy, you know, Scorpio, I love Scorpio. Let's talk about that first, because for a second, the new moon in Scorpio. So I want you to work with the Scorpio energy this moon or this month and this moon, because we're going to go into Sagittarius as well, which is about freedom. I mean, the way this is all working out is so perfect, right? Because the phoenix rising out of the ashes is a symbol of the fucking scorpion. So I feel like that's the divine feminine. If you see that shorts that I just made, they had me do the bird with the fucking the fire bird coming out from the Hunger Games. There's just so much that's happening right now. Like, we are in the Hunger Games only, you know, but we are the rebels that are taking it back. We are the people of the Republican. We are the wise, loving, compassionate elephants that want a new beginning, a new start. And we will use that beautiful energy of the donkey as well to build this democracy and kick out that bad energy and say, hey, no more. We're allowed to have shadow. We need it to grow, but we are not there to live in it in the flow. We're meant to be in this very light, high vibrational energy. And then we go into the shadow when we work through the human stuff, but we don't. We're not meant to be kept down and stay down and keep working for them, for the rich. No. Because you know what else? Can I just say this last thing? Who the fuck does Elon Musk think he is anyway? I just want to say that right now. This ain't your fucking country, buddy. This ain't your fucking country. No offense, but it's not. It's not his country. I don't think he was born here, was he? I don't think so. I'm almost positive he's not. If he was, then I will fully apologize. But like, I don't understand why these people are coming in because they have money and leadership from other places. And they're like, oh, it's like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. We fought really, really hard for this. Right? And the Native Americans have fought hard to get their land back. And same with Mexico, right? Like, they have a female president. Like, everything is changing because it has to change. Or else this planet will fucking, they're slowly killing us and the planet for their own personal gain and wealth. And that, my friends, is parasitic. That's a parasite. And how they don't see that in him is scary. I was watching some of these debates last night, and I'm like, you know what? People vote and people believe in from their level of consciousness. So if somebody is hurt, they're going to go for someone who's going to be like, yeah, let's hurt people, right? But if somebody is love and happy, or they've had enough of the hurt and all they want is joy and happiness, they're going to go for that. So trust in the joy, trust in the happiness, trust in spirit, trust in yourself, trust in us as a democracy, as a community on earth. Trust humanity. Trust our forefathers, the ancestors. Trust spirit, the divine creator. This all was all meant to be. If you look at it astrologically, numerically speaking, I'm getting excited. All of it, if you look at it all together, it's just so much. It's just so beautiful. It's like the most beautiful orchestra I've ever seen, and we get to be a part of it. So until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you soon. I love you. Bye. Bye.